and welcome to a brand new Five Heart Podcast live on a Thursday night in living color. We are your podcast duo team. I'm Greg Minnie. That is the incomparable Minnie Hunt.
Thank you, Greg.
And hello, Minnie. Great seeing you again.
Great seeing you guys.
And all of you.
Yeah.
No, I almost slipped into year ago mode. Holger Maniacs.
That's not their name. They're the Holger Maniacs now.
I fixed it.
Good.
Have you had a good week? Let me try that again. Have you had a good week?
I have. The kids are out of school the first full week. And, I thought it was going to be really wonderful at first. Not having to wake up early, get them off to school, things like that. But, they're really expensive to keep at home.
Yeah.
Especially 3 girls that are all like right around teen age. Ugh.
We had the boys. Obviously, they finished up school. And, I guess the 2 who were in school finished up last week. So Robert joined Matthew, his twin, at daycare, and Matthew was so excited to take Robert with him. We're in the van on the way there. He says, "Robert, you're my best friend." And
I love that.
It was adorable. Usually he only calls me his best friend, so I guess now I've got competition. Just like in Highlander, there can be only one. So Robert, watch out. But no, after everything, we had some errands to run, so we went and got Chick-fil-A on Tuesday, which I don't like doing because Chick-fil-A is not cheap.
Oh yeah.
Everybody ate it, so everybody was happy. And
of course.
Yeah. So I definitely understand kids being more expensive when they're out of school. Luckily, I had to take Garrett with me to work yesterday to the office, and we packed lunches. Like, we're not going to McDonald's and spending $15+ there. So.
Okay. Well, kids are out of school.
That they are.
What else is going on? Let's see. There's lots of kind of fun things going around. Nebraska football.
There are.
I
mean, I feel like we're going to discuss some of those tonight because
we are. Yeah.
That's what we do here on the preeminent live Husker podcast that airs Thursdays at 9 p.m. Central.
So, Greg, you guys all know that I helped Greg with his background, and we have to give him kudos because it's so much better than it used to be. But he made such a big deal out of getting a light to light up the N that he has behind him, yet it's never lit.
I don't have it burns through batteries like every 2 weeks.
This is what I told you. I told you that was going to happen. I said, you're never going to light it. It's just a waste of effort. Sometimes I think you should listen to me.
Fine. Sorry, boss. I'm trying to be better. Nobody has ever commented on this.
The flag?
Yeah.
I think I have, just not on air. Yeah.
If it doesn't happen on air on record, then does it even count?
Look at this. Did you see the highlighted?
I did.
We have a surprise, you guys.
Yeah, but we can't,
What?
We can't play it until we have a reason to play it.
We do have 2 reasons to play it. Remember, we promised Fred Sacco, who's a member, and we promised Husker Chuck, who's a member, that we would play it for them.
Yeah, but we say it's about a new. Anyway, Pitt wants to know, it was my grandfather's flag. It was the flag that draped his casket, was given to my grandma back in 1995. And upon her passing back in March, God bless, it got bequeathed to me in a agreement between my dad and his siblings. Like, let's let Greg have that. I'm the only grandson, so I got a lot of his old military stuff. Got some of his military pictures and things like that. So, thank you, Pip. Fred says, "Is this when you 5-heart theater and play the chat?" Next week.
All right. Well, we could do it. I mean, I actually have a whole skit written out for it. It's just Greg and I didn't get to have a meeting beforehand, so he would be going into this blindly.
Which is, I understand see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, but I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of going into
Well, when we get to that point, if you look through it and you think that we could do it, that would be fine.
Okay.
I'm game if you think. I mean, there's a lot of characters that are already in the chat that are in my skit. Mm-hmm.
I just am very curious as to which one I would be playing.
Me too. It's that's what's confusing about it.
Yeah. So we'll have to look it over. We'll have to review it at another time. But
okay.
Brett says this next week bullshit's starting to feel like John and Young Guns. Shut up, Fred. So,
okay. Well, can I say a couple things real quick? Wade Farr did remind us that there are rechargeable batteries.
True. I mean, I have. So here's the thing. I thought I brought the batteries down just because I knew that I'd use them down here more than anywhere else, but apparently I did not. So I have batteries. They're just upstairs.
Okay. Good place for them. Yeah.
They're batteries for the whole house, not just the day.
Never mind me said, I'm just going to go ahead and take this right now since I'm thinking of it. Never mind me said, I looked Minnie up on the book. I assume that's Facebook. Can't send her a friend request. Why not? Do I have too many friends?
You hit the 400 max.
Really? Is that how many you're allowed?
That's what it used to be like back.
Oh.
Probably over 15 years ago before I went corporate. Yeah, they kind of maxed out. Like, there's no way, because Facebook was originally for college students. So, like, there's no way you could have more than 400 friends. So,
that's interesting. Okay.
So, Minnie.
Yes, Greg.
Husker news.
Yes.
What do you have for us?
Well, I mean, today we were given about half of the schedule times that we're going to play. We already knew that the Cincinnati game is going to be at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, and that's going to be at 8 p.m. on ESPN. If you can't make it, I guess they've already sold like 67,000 tickets.
I think just Nebraska has sold it, or did I read that wrong?
Oh, I think you're right. Troy Dannon said 67,000. So that's going to be a big get together for Nebraska fans on August 28th. And then we got the Akron game, our first home game, real home game. And that is September 6th at 6:30 p.m. on BTN, Big Ten Network. So
yes.
That's our second night game.
Correct.
2 games in, 2 night games. And we went over what our statistics for night games is. We usually
I think we did that last year.
Mm-hmm. We have a really good percentage of wins for night games. And then September 13th.
By the way, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I hate even saying it.
What?
But I feel like this is a make good. Are you familiar with make goods in like marketing and advertising? So a make good, for example, radio, and I'll go by radio because that's where I have the most experience. I'm gonna kill this for a minute. A make good in radio is you have a show or, like a sporting event, a baseball, football game, something like that. And you have so many commercials that are supposed to air in that, their corporate, not corporate, their network spots that are supposed to air. And if you're like an affiliate for, Huskers, or, I defer to my time out in Nebraska. So, the station I worked at, we were a Husker affiliate, but also Colorado Rockies, Colorado Avalanche, Denver Nuggets, Denver Broncos, the Denver teams. So a make good is you didn't get this commercial aired during the broadcast, so you have to make it good another time. And I feel like that's what the Akron game is, because this game was supposed to be played back in 2018, if you recall, Minnie.
With the Lightning.
The Lightning on September 1st. The kerfuffle that torpedoed Scott Frost's coaching.
Yes, we should have known.
So if there's lightning this year, for the game against Nebraska and Akron, then God just doesn't want us to play Akron and stop putting them on the schedule.
Yes. Oh my gosh. What an omen. Jeez. I forgot all about that. Somebody else brought it up recently. And you forget. I mean, what a letdown for Husker fans, especially, right? We are so stoked for that game. Everyone is just like there and glued, and we're just like, yes. And then when they say that they can't play because there's lightning, we're just like, like a deflated balloon.
Right. And that's kind of what it was. That took the air out of the very beginning of his. And then, the next year we went against Colorado, and that's when I think they were starting to. I think that's when they tweaked Adrian Martinez' knee or ankle or something like that. Like they were playing dirty underneath the pile, which again, not surprised.
Oh, that's naughty. Okay, so after Akron, we play Houston Christian on September 13th at 11 a.m. on FS1.
That's going to be a fun one.
Mm-hmm. But wait till what's next.
What's next?
We got the Michigan-Nebraska time, which I'm so glad we did. I wish it was a little later, but 2:30 is okay. 2:30 p.m. on CBS. At least it's on CBS on September 20th.
Truth.
Yeah. Yep. And then on October 4th, we play Michigan State at Nebraska at 11 a.m. What the heck is this? Why do I have 11 a.m., 2:30, and then 3? Oh, to be announced is one of those times.
Uh-huh.
Weird. And then we have the October 17th game, Nebraska at Minnesota at 7 p.m. on Fox. Another night game at Minnesota.
Boo. I mean, not boo.
You know what, though? We need to, this is going to be a serious game. We need all the good luck we can get. So maybe we'll not wear the whites on that.
Thank you. Hallelujah.
Because maybe we won't. And the fact that it's a night game, we just better odds. And then the last time that we got was the Iowa game, the last game of the season. Oh, wait. Before I forget, the Minnesota game was moved to a Friday night.
Yes, it was.
Friday night. How do we feel about Friday night games?
I don't care for them personally. I'm still old school enough to believe that Friday nights are for high school. So that's just me. I'm just one man. But I would try to keep my Friday nights are for high school, Saturdays for college, and Sundays for NFL. Monday nights too, I guess, for NFL. That's how I think it should be. Nobody wants my opinion. Like the decision makers, the movers and shakers don't care about Greg's opinion, but that's what I think it should be.
Never mind me. I'm gonna highlight that question because we need to talk about that for sure. And okay, so people have opinions about night games. Justin Raji likes them. On Friday night games.
The hell?
Highlander gun, opposite direction. They blow.
Never mind me, Greg. Friday is absolutely for high school games. Thank you.
Oh.
And Tony would know because Tony's a Minnesota fan. Says lots of hoodlums running around Minneapolis on Friday nights.
Okay. Well, it's Friday night. I guess it's because of, the network scheduling thing, because we're on Fox.
This is a good one too by James Borman. Says anyone.
No, say it like you're like Clint Eastwood or something.
Okay. Anyone, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red. It's a little Clint Eastwood, a little Batman. Sorry.
Okay, and then the last game, of course, against Iowa is at 11 a.m. on Friday, November 28th on CBS.
Don't mind me. I'm just pulling up my calendar for Black Friday to see. We said that was the 28th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well.
That's also the day I have in my calendar to pay the mortgage. So.
All right. Well, November 28th. And, all these games are important and they're all worth getting excited about. I'm really, really, really excited about September 20th. Because as our friend Jackson pointed out, he says, Nebraska, Michigan on CBS is awesome. I told TJ and John Olden Jr. that I believe Nebraska will beat Michigan. Do you know who TJ and John Olden Jr. are?
Minnie, don't just educate me, but educate
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I probably should know, but I don't.
Think maybe they're now. Doesn't Jackson do his own show?
He does, and I thought
you think TJ and Johnny are his co-hosts?
Maybe.
I'm sure if we
I don't know. I just found Jackson on X, Twitter.
Twitter. Did he know he was on X?
I know.
You have to rush him to the emergency room.
And he just today was on the Paul Finebomb show. Asking a question. This guy gets around. It's kind of neat.
Well.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know who TJ and
no accounting for taste because Paul Finebomb's
I know, but still.
Sorry, Jackson. I think if I remember Monday night
really
correctly, isn't he a thank you, Fred. Isn't he an Alabama fan?
He is, yeah.
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 That's why he's tuning into Paul Finebaum.
Is that why?
Yeah, Paul Finebaum's a joke.
Okay.
Paul Finebaum is me with less hair. Just saying outlandish things. He just has been doing it longer and at a higher profile.
Greg, ew.
What?
That's all I have to say. Ew.
Did you say ew?
Ew.
I don't think I said anything that outlandish this time.
All right. So what do we think? Are we happy with the times thus far?
I've got no issues with any of them.
Yeah. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3 night games already.
Oh, here we go. Pitt says Johnny Olden is a Michigan podcaster. But here's the thing. I don't know all the Nebraska podcasters, so I'm sure as hell not going to go out on and seek out other
This is true.
team podcasters. Like, I don't have time.
I like what Highlander says. Man, Highlander is like full of all kinds of witty comebacks tonight.
That's good. It's not. I mean, there's.
Is a pencil neck? That's just funny. That's just really funny. I don't even know why. That's just funny.
That is funny.
Okay. So, also, Greg, I don't know if you've read into the notes at all, because I know you just sat down about 5 minutes ago. We do have a punter. We do have a punter.
We do. It was, well, the name was floated out there. Right? I don't know. Is he officially signed and on campus?
I think so. Yeah. Well, I think he's signed. Yeah. Nobody else can take him. That's the point. That's why they weren't letting it out. But read into all my notes, because this is really good stuff I dug up.
All right.
And yes, we do research, Fred. A lot of it.
No, Minnie, we don't.
I do.
Minnie does research.
Yeah.
And I skate in here like tonight at 8:59 and be like, sorry, just got home. But at least I had time to change out of my braces.
See, Raji says he's on the student registry. He knows.
Never doubt Raji. All right, so here's what we can tell you about Archie Wilson, our new punter from Australia, from specifically Haleybury College. It's the same place that Mike Eckler got his punter at Tennessee, and also where Iowa found Tory Taylor. In 2023, which is just 2 years ago, per the New York Times, 61 of 133 FBS schools had Australian punters on their rosters. Mm-hmm. And that's over half of all FBS schools currently have Australian or New Zealand rugby players as their punters. You may not know this, Holger Maniacs. I know you know this, Minnie, because this is all your research. Last year's national championship game, both Ohio State and Notre Dame were using Australian rugby players as their punters. I forget that Notre Dame was in the championship game.
That's okay, I guess.
Minnie, tell us why the rugby style works at the college level.
The style works at the college level thanks to the rule that allows coverage units to release from the line of scrimmage at the snap rather than at the kick, as is the case in the NFL. If you have a punter raised on an entirely different sport where kicking on the run is required, he can roll out, buying the coverage team time to get down the field. Who cares about hang time or beautiful spirals when you can get the same thing with kickers, better coverage, also adept at putting backspin or topspin on the ball?
That's right. In 2013, Tom Hornsey of Memphis became the first Australian to win the Ray Guy Award, and Aussies have won 7 of the 11 awards since that time. Last year, 4 of the top 5 teams in BC, this is a very specific statistic, we'll say punting efficiency, had rugby punters. And also last year, 6 of the top 10 in yards per punt and yards per punt return allowed using rugby style.
Yeah.
Minnie?
Also, hold on. Where are we? I lost where we are, Greg.
At his last stop, Mike Eckler at Tennessee led the nation in percentage of punts downed inside the 10 over the past 4 years since the start of 2021 or their 2021 season rather. 19.4% of the Vols punts pinned the opponent inside the 10-yard line, and that's 28.3% alone in 2024. Minnie.
That's really impressive, isn't it?
It sure is.
So this guy comes from the same school as Eckler's punter that he had at Tennessee. So I'm sure he's very familiar with them.
Oh, likely.
Yeah.
That's probably something of a pipeline from Australia.
You know what's really interesting about this, Greg? Since they're going to, a lot of these teams are going to the rugby-style punting, which I didn't know. That's like the best kept secret in college football right there. Possibly. But so you have all these like camps where kids are showing up, right? To show what they can do for punting. I read that there's kids from the US that are like teenagers, 16, 17-year-old kids that are trying to show teams what they can do. These rugby punters from Australia are in their 20s. They're already like 20, like David Hofkin, They just have never played American football before.
Right. So we see you, Mr. KEANE. We welcome you back to the fold.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, honestly, we appreciated Brian Boomshini, but we haven't had really, really consistent punting in a number of years. And so that's it. Just get us improvement, get us marked improvement, get us sustained, consistent improvement, and I'll be happy as shit.
Yep. Yeah, I think it will.
Wade wants to know, why doesn't the USA learn to Aussie punt in the USA? Couldn't tell you. Probably because I think probably from a young age, we're taught a certain way. Aussie players are taught a certain way. I just don't know if, and maybe as I say that, it got mentioned in the comments, it's the worst kept secret, I guess in college football. But I guess as it becomes more and more popular, more and more, I don't want to say recognized, but just maybe when you have 10 out of 10, 10 years of Reg I Award winners being Australian punters, then that might start trickling down the levels. But I don't know if you know this about Americans, we are kind of set in our ways.
Yeah, we don't like change. Plus, we expect everybody else to change to our way of doing things. My daughters asked me a question recently. They're like, why does America have to be so backwards in everything? The way we measure things is not like other countries. We don't even drive on the same side of the street. Why do we have to do everything different? Why didn't we consult with other people before we make these rules? Like, that's because we didn't think we needed to. We thought they'd follow us.
And they do, at least in the realm of pop culture. A couple more about Australian kicking. Tony says, I hope his punting doesn't boomerang on Nebraska. He's like, that's my best material. Wade says, does an Aussie punt go the other direction in a spin like their toilets do? I remember that episode of The Simpsons from the 1990s. I think, Wade, it does, but you have to be in the Southern Hemisphere. So up here in North America, we won't notice a difference on the rotation of the football. And then Justin says, Mr. Raji says, Australia has Pro Kick, one of the best kicking and punting academies in the world, which is hilarious because American-style football, you'd think that we would have the best kicking and punting academies. Maybe
it is such a science, Greg. There's such science to kicking. Velocity from the snapper. The spins. How it's spinning.
No, I was talking about the spinning off the foot to the other team.
Oh, okay.
Because that would be, if we had a long snapper from Australia, then we could talk about, if it's spinning clockwise or counterclockwise. But
True.
The long snapper being from North America, we don't have to worry about that.
That's true. Is New Hampshire North America?
Last I checked. Might be a weird part of, where they wear socks over their Birken or under their Birkenstocks, but yeah.
Greg, I can't wait for people to hear what the little thing that we had put together.
Yeah, if you're tired of waiting, because I'm going to stick to my guns. No offense, Highlander. We need somebody to step up and become a YouTube member, and then we can play our special little production element just for you.
Yeah.
But if you signed up a week or two ago, we can't do it because we didn't have it. And we're not doing it.
I said we would.
I really want to wait till we have a new one.
That kind of like poo-poos the current members. Shouldn't we give them something for hanging in there with us?
Well, let's give good people a reason to become a member. We're dropping member-exclusive content to the Coordination YouTube channel tomorrow. A few weeks back, we did a watch-along of the, I believe, 1983 Nebraska-Minnesota game. That was 84-13 or something ridiculous. Sorry about that, Tony. And this week, we did a watch-along of 1978 Nebraska-Oklahoma. Oklahoma entered that game at Memorial Stadium, the number 1 team in the country. Nebraska was number 4. And when it was all said and done, spoiler alert, Nebraska won. And we recorded that. We'll drop that exclusively to members only tomorrow on the Coordination YouTube channel. So if you want access to that, you're going to have to pony up the dough. And as a bonus, you get to hear the little production element that we devised.
Yeah, we had fun.
Minnie, can you believe we're 34 minutes into this question or into this episode? Nobody's asked the most important question of the night.
What?
What? Like you don't know. What's Greg drinking today? What's Greg drinking today? Whoa. Tonight, I have something new. Something I've I'll address that in a minute, Mr. KEANE. Something I've never had before. But I'm excited to try it.
What you got going on there, Greg?
It's a brewski.
Okay.
It is from, I'm probably going to mispronounce it. It's California, so you may be able to help me with the pronunciation. Petaluma.
Can I see it? What is it called? What do you think it's called?
That city? Is that Petaluma, California?
I have no idea.
Cool. Well, this is a smooth and silky IPA. 7% alcohol by volume from Lagunitas. And it's called Little Something Something.
Lagunitas, Little Something Something.
So this is going to be where I realize it's not a twist, and I don't think I have a... Hold on. We got it. We're good. Carry on.
You know, it's so funny that, hey, Classy 31 has some info on Petaluma, California, arm wrestling capital of the world.
Wait, I'm more surprised there's an arm wrestling capital of the world.
Me too, to be honest. So one of the jobs I had in college was I worked at a nightclub.
Really?
Yes. And
does that come with a bunch of crazy stories?
Well, this is the craziest. Yeah, maybe. But more importantly, when I first started working there, they had me at a beer tub.
Okay, a beer tub.
Now, mind you, I don't drink beer.
Right.
Right? So, Fred, be nice. So they had to show me how to open beers with a beer bottle opener. And I would see other girls do it, and they would do it like, they'd flick it off. There were beer bottle things, caps all over the place. And mine were always neatly taken off and placed. And then I'd hand the beer over. I didn't do that very long, but no, jeez.
I'll have to go up and get my bottle opener because
I'd open it for you, but
it would take me less time to go up there than to ship it to Arizona.
Yeah, you all be nice to Minnie. Thank you, Greg. Or never mind me. The nightclub that I worked at was a fun stuff nightclub. What is
That's the wildest story you have from there, Justin says?
I mean, there might be some wilder stories, but I don't know. I learned a lot about alcohol there. They asked me one day, how do you make a gin and tonic?
You put gin and you put tonic.
Literally, I had no idea. But, you learn. The story hour. Wild story. Okay. Wild stories. I guess the wildest story that I have from there is, there's a couple. There was I guess we were the ecstasy capital at that time when I worked there. And you guys know, what was that mob guy? Sammy the Bull. He was there on my first night that I worked there. And, I know nothing about these people, but I do remember him like it was yesterday. And this was dare I say, 30 years ago? 10 years ago.
Good save.
Yes, 10 years ago. So.
All right. So, got it open. It's delicious. According to its description, way smooth and silky with a nice Wheatley-esque-ish-ness. Not my description. A truly unique style featuring a strong hop finish on a silky body. A hoppy wheat IPA that's great for hop fans.
Say that part again. What?
Huh?
Read that part again.
A truly unique style featuring a strong hop finish on a silky body.
I thought it said.
A hoppy wheat IPA that is great for hop fans, but so smooth that the Hefeweizen fans dig it too.
I think it's, yeah. Did you read the label before you bought it? Is that what made you want to buy it?
No, I was looking for something new and different.
Not the silky body. That didn't get you?
No. Just looking for new.
James is like, boom chicka bow wow.
What can I say? You guys got me.
And then Fred says, Greg read the label and touched himself. He's like,
I feel like you all have a very low opinion of me.
we just can't help it.
That's what concerns me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, back on track here.
Okay. New stadium looks.
Well, I figured since I got my alcohol, we could talk about the alcohol at Memorial Stadium.
Good idea.
That's what we call a natural segue, Minnie.
Yeah, I got to keep that in mind. Thank you.
So we're going to have alcohol at Memorial Stadium, and because of that, there's a rule change. And I guess because I've only been to one game at Memorial Stadium, I didn't know this was a thing. You used to be able to leave Memorial Stadium and then re-enter the stadium by the fourth quarter, but re-entry is off the board.
Why would you ever want to leave? Number one.
Well, okay.
It just boggles my
wait,
mind.
Wait, I have the answer for you. In the vehicles was the alcohol.
Mm.
Now the alcohol is in the stadium.
In the stadium. They moved it closer to you. So there's no need to leave.
They said they only left for the booze. Yeah. The thing is, Never Mind Me says no more leaving for a smoke. We drank there. Now you can, it's a much shorter walk to the alcohol, but the alcohol is going to cost you a hell of a lot more. Like I feel like that is, I don't know.
You know how much I paid for what was it? A gigantic White Claw. It was like, I don't know. How many ounces? I sent you a picture when I was at USC.
Yeah, like a high noon mixed seltzer or whatever.
That's what it was. And it was kind of big. It was like, I don't know how many ounces, but it was a big boy. Anyways, it was like $32.
That's crazy. That's why I don't drink alcohol at stadiums. The voice of college football, our friend Mark says, who would want to leave? ? Check Nebraska's third quarter scores over the last 10 years. No, Mark. They were leaving at halftime to go back and get more alcohol so that they could stomach the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah. Yep.
So Fred circumvents this by drinking till he can't feel feelings, and then he goes into the stadium.
That's how some people do it. I can see that.
Kaylee says, if you put the alcohol in souvenir cups, people will buy them.
That's true. That is very true. I have a whole stack of souvenir cups just for souvenir cups. Just give them all to me.
You know, when was at the Nebraska-Colorado game last year, I went and got, I don't know, whatever soda I got, which was probably like a Sprite or the Memorial Stadium equivalent, because I think it was Pepsi products. And I got in a souvenir cup because I'm like, I'm at Memorial Stadium for the first time ever. And then I went back with my cup. I'm like, maybe I can just get this refilled. No, I had to get a whole new cup. So now I have 2 Nebraska souvenir cups. So.
Oh.
This is fine, except I'm only one person, and I'm either usually drinking beer or drinking water out of my water cup that you all frequently see me down here drinking. So,
Greg, you just don't even get it. How do you survive? You're like, I don't even need these cups.
I have 3 cups and I don't need them all.
I need 1 cup. That's all I need. I don't know why I have 2 extra.
I got my water cup, my coffee mug, my beer bottles. That's about it. That's all. You know what? A man shouldn't need more than that. Every man has like his reliable water cup. It's a plastic cup. He probably got it either at a ball game or from a convenience store back in the day. He needs a coffee mug, and he just needs his alcohol container.
I'm sure a lot of people can relate to you. I just think it's really funny. You're like, I need 1 water cup. Why do I have 3?
I mean, I have more for the kids, for their juice and milk and things like that. Yeah, economical. I've never been called a minimalist about anything, and that's not meant in any. Never mind. Yeah, we'll just go, Greg.
You obviously are. Jeez. 1 cup. one water cup.
1 water cup.
Okay. All right. Well,
where are we going next?
Right.
I guess we got to go to Memorial Stadium, right?
We did. Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
We had incomplete, we'll say work in progress images of what the end zones, what the new turf was going to look like last week here on the show. Troy Dannon, in his infinite generosity, graced us with some actual photos now of the new turf at Memorial Stadium. red end zones, white letters, black sidelines for, I guess, home, both sides. The N at the 50-yard line is bigger. They have kind of, looks like, at least from this image, they've done away with the alternating lighter green, dark green pattern. It's more consistent throughout. A lot of people are talking about, oh my goodness, the black, sideline area is going to be brutal on visiting teams. I can see it a little bit, but at the same time, what I think that's only going to affect maybe, and I may be wrong. I've never stood on turf, in the sun, but don't you think that only really play or cause an effect or whatever, however you want to phrase it, in like September? By October, when it's starting to cool down, do you think that's going to have that big of an effect?
Well, okay. So you remember last year, Greg, what was so interesting is Matt Rule wanted to switch sides because it didn't make any sense for us to be in the heat, like in the sun.
Right.
And he made sure we have, the seats with the overhead, like whatever that's called, almost like
the canopies.
Yeah, like a cover, but it also has like a misting system. I bet you anything and I've seen fans down there, but they don't give them to the visiting team. The idea is to make them suffer as much as possible. So I like it. It gets hot down there. It does.
Here's my thing. From an aesthetics, from a left to right, the hard camera is going to be on the side of the press box, right? It's going to be, from the way we're looking at the right side. I think I would have preferred to have Nebraska on the north end zone and Huskers on the south end zone. Because that way, when you're looking at it, you have Nebraska over here, which is the predecessor to Huskers. That's just me. It's a nitpicking.
What does it say down on that part of the sideline? What does that say? Can you read it?
I can tell you. Give me a minute. Let me zoom in. Nope. Let me zoom in.
But
Tom Osborne Field.
Oh, I love that. I'm surprised that they didn't give anything to Adidas on the field.
I mean, do they have to?
No, they don't have to, but I would think Adidas would want to pay for it. Some sort of emblem somewhere. I do love the end getting bigger. I love it. Love, love, love it. It's beautiful. Isn't that what Justin Raji said? It's beautiful.
That's what Justin Raji said.
Mm-hmm. Just like that.
Just because he's the gosh diggity darn greatest. That came out way more snarky and sarcastic, but I hope he knows that I'm very sincere.
Classy 31, you know what? We've had these discussions, and I really love kind of the old school way of calling Nebraska the Cornhuskers instead of just the Huskers. I'm with you. I think they should have said Cornhuskers. I hate that we're losing that.
Now, here's the thing. At the end of the day, there's really only one look to Memorial State or to Tom Osborne Field that is going to make the most people happy. Minnie, do you know what that is?
Do you think it's your design, Greg? I mean, if you think it'll make people happy.
I think, look, it brings so much joy to our fan family here, the wonderful Holger Maniacs, that just think of that. That's just the fan base under the microscope, right? You extend that out to all of Husker Nation, they're all going to be like, this is what we need. This is what we need.
This is not what we need. Nobody thinks this, Greg. I will say you did a pretty good job at designing other field layouts. This one is not.
Yikes, says Aaron Keane. Stephen Fromm says, never. Makes Pitt happy. Fred says, you get 2 extra points for a touchdown in my mouth, 1 extra point for my chest.
Maybe we would like it more if there was a full body, Greg.
I mean, that's about as full body as you're going to get, right? Realistically.
Okay. I'm just saying, these guys want to throw touchdowns in your mouth. You get extra points if you touch these zones.
It's like NBA Jam. Husker Chuck says, how could you not have Minnie in one end zone? Because I made this.
because it's Greg's show.
No, well, I didn't say that, but I mean, most of us think it. Let's see. I have another one. I know this one tested very poorly, but I'm still kind of proud of this one. Have your sunglasses on, everybody. I still really am a fan of this one. Like, gosh dang, if we're going to go big red, we need to go big red.
That is so not good. There's just not. I don't like. I mean, this is a lot of red for us. Okay, Greg, let's just interchange these. Look, that's a lot of red for us.
Yeah.
This is more red than we've ever had.
True.
So if you're going to do this to fans, if you're going to put red on the field, you got to inch it in little by little. Start at the end zones.
Kaylee says, that's so violently red. Tony says, good God, that's terrible. I mean, look, my favorite one, I showed it last week. I'm not going to put it back up here again, but the black shirts one that I did, I really want that to become a welcome mat, like a doormat.
I got a question for you guys. Aesthetically speaking, does it bother anybody else that the reds on the field are different than the red in the stadium chairs, the stands?
No.
What?
No. Non-issue. Because think about this. When Memorial Stadium is during a game, be it a Friday night, Saturday, whatever, you're not seeing the chairs because Memorial Stadium is full with its record-defining sellout streak. Yeah, Kaylee says, can't see the chairs during a packed game.
I know. I get
all
that.
those chairs are going away, says
Can we just from now on agree that there's only one shade of red that we like and only use that one shade of red? What is wrong with choosing a red? It's supposed to be scarlet. That's scarlet, Greg. That's good. Remember when you used to wear your salmon pink shirt?
Nope, it's red. It's just vintage. Get off my shit.
Yeah, well, nobody liked that shirt either. Nobody likes these chairs.
That's not true. People love that shirt. They didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. Well, I do like the touch of black too.
Pitt says, well, shit fades in the sun, man. And Mr. Matney, sorry, not Mr. Matney, living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast, says, when you see chairs, we're having a bad day.
I do love how you guys just all have basically the same answer. No, we don't even see the chairs. That doesn't matter. Chairs don't matter. We don't even need chairs. Let's take all the chairs out.
We don't. Well, that's a story for another day.
Yeah. That's fun.
All right. Where are we going next, Minnie?
Well, Greg, we have the mascot.
Yeah.
I didn't get pictures of her. Did you?
Oh, I didn't. Of course not. I got here 2 minutes before the show.
Well, if you guys have heard anything about this, they're thinking of coming up with a female Husker mascot. So today I was on the internet and I was searching up some Husker mascot like videos. And there was this comedian that came up. And he was talking about the Huskers, and he was talking about how we came up with Herbie Husker, and then how somebody just out of like, I don't know, just clear blue sky one day just decided, okay, and we need a little red. And they're like, okay, is it just going to be Herbie's little brother? Like, is he going to be wearing the same clothes and kind of like just be like a little brother? Nope, not at all. Backwards hat, little red. He's going to be like a balloon. Totally not related. But the Husker women's mascot, I think, looks so much like the old school Herbie mascot.
Now, by old school, you mean the one from like a few years ago?
Let me grab one of my Herbie shirts and I'll show you. Like the one with the brown hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not, I wouldn't call it. I think that would be, nobody would consider that old school.
It is to me. Sorry.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's are you there or did you walk away?
I'm here.
Okay, good. Yeah, this debate actually raged in the Coronation Slack, and there were ideas, and I think John was doing AI work, but the sand crane for women's basketball or volleyball, I don't know. It's
Okay. This is the old school one I was talking about. That guy.
Okay.
Okay. This is the newer guy.
No, that's the original guy.
Is this the original guy?
That's the original guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
when Trev brought blonde Herbie back, that was going. I know the mascot itself, like the character on the field, got a bit of an adjustment, but blonde Herbie's the Herbie.
Okay. Well, this is get your shit together, Minnie. I come with visuals. Okay, here. This is the one. This is the one that looks like the girl. Because remember, he has like brown hair.
Oh, and you said ponytail, right?
Yeah, and she has she looks like Marianne from the Gilligan's Island.
Oh, okay.
She's wearing a red button-up shirt. She's really cute.
So it's all speculation. It's a conversation. It's not. I would say it's not anything that.
It's because no, Greg, it isn't just speculation. It's because we have women's flag football that's coming to Nebraska.
Okay.
You have to have a woman mascot, I think, if you have that.
We have to have a mascot representative of. Mm-hmm. I will respectfully disagree. And maybe it's just because our mascot is a human male, right? But like you don't have, at least I've never seen. I've never seen. There's no. Huh?
Our mascot is not human.
Herbie Husker is not a human. What is Herbie Husker?
I don't know. It's like this guy. It's like Bob's Big Boy, you know? Remember this?
Yeah, I remember.
So it's just like a mascot. That's all it is. The hamburger twirls.
I just the Bucky Badger. There's not a female badger. There's not a badgerette. There's not Brutus, Buckeye for Ohio State, the elephant at Alabama. Like, I don't know if we need separate gendered mascots. And I don't say that to not be inclusive, but like
we have an adult male mascot. Right?
And we have a dipshit inflatable mascot.
And we have a kid mascot. That means you have to have a lady mascot.
No, I think the kid mascot is to entertain the kids and to sell merchandise to kids, like stuffed animals to kids or people who feel it necessary to have a stuffed animal, Little Red. I don't know anybody who knew that. Kaylee says the idea of having Herbie's obviously badass wife out there could be fun. Also provides a bit of backstory. It could be bad and could suck. I just think the chances of it sucking are greater than the chances of it being badass.
I think it would be so cute. Oh my gosh. Then we could have a
Husker
wedding.
family?
We could have a wedding, a Husker wedding. That would be so cute. Good idea, Kaylee.
Fred wants to know who has Bob's Big Boy replica within physical reach.
I know. I have weird things around me.
Aaron Keane says, good Lord, Minnie has a toy box full of mascots.
You have no idea what my toy box is full of. Keane. I have beards. I have pom-poms. I have the funny, weird corn glove.
I'm going to go right down to newest comments because I know that's... Oh, even the respectable journalists among us. Oh, that's right. We're the bug eaters. So Pitt says we could be the ladybugs. Wade says the Huskers are a broken family with no mommy. That's
oh, that's sad.
Mark says Voice of College Football. Check out his channel on YouTube, The Voice of College Football. Are there any female mascots in college sports? And again, I think no.
Wait a second.
Classy 31 says, how about a mascot?
Greg.
What?
Let's just think about this. They're animals for the most part.
Yeah. So but they all have masculine names.
We don't know if they're guys or girls. There's
Truman the Tiger at Missouri.
There's lots of girls with masculine names. Lots.
Sam and Pat.
Yes. Because I actually, my brother-in-law,
it was an SNL skit.
Has 4 sisters that all have boy names.
Okay.
There you go.
I feel honored. Never Mind Me says we are officially family. We collectively. He's taking us with him to the crapper. I feel the closeness than you are comfortable sharing that with us. I also sometimes wonder what I'm doing with my life. But hope everything comes out okay.
Same. Okay, Greg. Do we want to possibly do the Five Heart Theater?
James Boardman says, aren't Hawkeyes female? Husker Chuck says beavers. Jesus. Oh, I wasn't prepared for that, and I'm so glad I stumbled into that blindly. Mark also says, what am I doing? My life, that thoughts crossed my mind a few times in the last half hour. I apologize.
Cougars. There you go, Matney.
All right. Alberta the Gator
is a lady. Thank you, Tony. See?
All right. Let me take a quick. let's see. I'm doing a quick scan of the starred comments, see which ones we've already addressed.
Okay.
Brasco Rascal says 63,000 plus tickets sold for the Nebraska-Cincinnati game. Not all Husker fans. Okay, thank you, Brasco, for clarifying sincerely. Talking about those early season matchups, Raji says now Akron may not play if they don't have enough academically eligible players. This is where you got to learn. If you want to be a Division I football program, you got to suck it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you might have to play two ways. You may have to play on both sides of the ball. So if you only have 25 players, you'd be ready. We go.
I love that.
I do want to address this before we look forward to the Five Heart Theater. Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast, says, do you think had we played Akron back then, 2018, it would have made a difference in the Scott Frost era? Minnie?
I do.
I agree.
I think it would have. There's such a thing as momentum for teams. If you believe
getting out of the gate on the right foot.
You do. Yes. And it was such a letdown. Every time I think of that game, I feel like the same exact feeling where it's like my gut is just like, dang, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And then that. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. No game.
And I'll say this too. The question was asked. James Borman says no. Carl says hell no. Mark says, yeah, Frost would have gone 17-31 instead of 16-31. And Husker Chuck says, I think we would have won that game and not started 0-6. You're right, Minnie. There is such a thing as momentum. Getting out of the gate the way you intend to. Nobody intends to start, with not having a game week 1. It's week 1, unless you play in week 0 and you have that, if you're playing in Ireland or something like that and you have that travel week, that extra bye, everybody expects to play football week 1, and Nebraska did not have that opportunity. I think it, I'm not a Scott Frost apologist, but I think it set his entire tenure back. So.
Oh, what David Matney just said. He said, that was the springtime of hope.
Brother, that is some very poetic stuff.
Slipped away from us. It's like, it was right there, and we almost grasped it and just slipped away.
Yeah. So, again, it's tough to say. I think it would have made a difference. I'm not saying he'd still be the head coach, but yeah, I think he doesn't start out 0-6. I think, because the Colorado game was winnable at that point. And, so again, it's things happen. Things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tony, trust me, I can't believe I even highlighted this comment because we're not supposed to talk about it anymore. But yeah, the onside kick against Northwestern in Ireland was brutal.
If it would have worked, he would have been considered a genius.
If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a jolly.
You know what? The same thing that I was watching for the Mascots today, the comedian with the Mascots, he was saying, this is what Nebraska fans are like after every season. If only we had won those 3 games, or if only we had won those 5 games, could you imagine where we'd be? I'm like, yeah. What?
Going bowling.
That does sound like us. It's like
right,
we're off-season champions every season. This is awesome.
We'll come back to you, Mr. Matney. That's a great question. Let's look at some more of these starred ones. Never mind me says, real question is, when is the SEC going to play 9 conference games? If we have to, they should have to as well. I do believe they are finally having conversations about that. Nobody's going to be able to force them. It's going to have to be a decision that they come. I do think it, as the college football playoffs, start to take shape, if maybe there are some slights by the college, or perceived slights that SEC fans and SEC, teams and
I just have a question about this. Okay. Sorry,
president.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. No, I was just gonna say, if there's a strength of schedule or something like that, that a SEC team gets out and another team gets in, I think they might be like, oh gosh, maybe by 2029 we're gonna have to start incorporating a 9th conference game.
So my question is, why do we have to play 9?
I don't know.
I mean, if we're gonna cry about them only playing 8, why? You know what I'm saying?
Why are we doing it to ourselves?
Yeah. Do we have to?
I think it's to prove
that we're bigger, better, and stronger.
Yeah, Fred says because we're suckers. James Boardman says money. I do think it's a matter of pride. Like, we can even in downtimes we can at least have the badge of honor. Be like, yeah, but we play 9 conference games. Like we can hold it over our heads.
You just hold it there, SEC. You guys think you're all that.
The voice of college football says,
No.
Nobody runs the sport. The SEC will only go to 9 games if they do it in a way that favors them. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Wade says, Greg, please. Okay. Minnie, stop making hand gestures and size references with your hands.
What?
I don't know. Don't make hand gestures with your hands. Make hand gestures with your hair.
Okay.
Or you're gonna have to just keep your hands off camera.
In my pockets. Okay.
There we go.
Got it.
She's got a pocket full of sunshine. That's a
Okay, got it.
song from a long time ago.
Yes, thank you. He gets it. Fred gets it. I am not Italian in the least. No Italian blood whatsoever. But I like to talk with my hands. Okay.
I didn't know that's what Italians do, or that they sound like that. That's pretty rough. Aaron says, weird detour. You've been away a long time, friend.
Yeah.
And Mark says, to Wade, I make it a point to only watch Greg when I'm watching the show. Tell me more. So
He
nice.
loves to hear things like that. You think I'm a ham? Oh my gosh.
Oh, Wade. I'm sorry. Walter says Italian.
Yes.
All right. Let's look at a few more of these. Get that one. Oh, I said at one point, I said, I'm only one man. What do you expect? And Fred says, Greg, Minnie would say you're closer to 2 men as she fat shamed you. Thank you, Fred, for reminding me that I put weight back on.
It's okay.
I don't understand this one. James says, I do research on Cornhub. Not sure what that is. Do you think it
I think you switch out one letter and you might get it.
corn tub, like a tub of popcorn. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Tony says, is he in his 30s? I'm assuming we're talking about the Aussie punter, but we might be talking about me. The answer to both questions is no.
No longer.
And while we're talking about the Australian punter, Wade says, why is Nebraska jumping off of the bridge like everyone else? I thought Nebraska was the innovative place, not the following.
What?
I would say they are still very innovative as far as strength and conditioning, nutrition, things like that. Because
how are we jumping off the bridge? I don't get it.
I don't know about because it's like, oh, if your friend jumps off the bridge, are you going to jump off the bridge too? I think is my.
Is that the question?
I don't know. But I think when you see something working, like you don't have to be the one who creates the idea. It's okay to see what's working elsewhere and try to incorporate it into your program.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
That's what we do.
I appreciate the question. And regarding, again, special teams, we got a couple more special teams ones. Carl says, I'm more concerned with our blocking on special teams. How about we have no blocked punts this year?
Great point, Carl. Great point. I think we have the man in charge, Mike Eckler, that is going to handle that for us. Otherwise, I think you and I need to go have some words with our football team.
Yeah. All right. Husker Bob says, in regards to punters, recruit some hacky sackers and be on the cutting edge of punting. That's what, instead of being a follower, we can be a leader in that regard.
Hacky sackers.
Aaron asked earlier, we'll bring it up again. Greg, way off topic, but serious question. Whose flag is that behind you? That was my grandfather's flag. He served in the Army.
Okay, so Aaron got here late, right? Yes. He didn't know that you had mentioned that earlier.
That's okay.
And no, I just love it because you said nobody's asked about the flag. So that's why I highlighted that.
You were giving me crap about the rest of my backdrop. I figured I'd at least put something up there that nobody can give me crap about.
It's wonderful.
Unless they're dirty commies. Yeah, so things got weird a few minutes ago. We're talking about me, Mark, how he only will look at me when he watches the show. Because I got up close. He says, Greg is thousands of miles away, and that was still really weird. That's what I do. I take something innocuous and I make it awkward. And Kaylee says, oh, God, the head was large enough already. You know what? Fine. You're going to be like that. You don't get to see it anymore.
There you go. Well, I think I've warned you about this before, Greg.
What, did I have a big head?
Not to lean into the camera.
Oh, sorry. The flag is backwards. What? I'm not going to get up and change it. I'll change it. Serious question, because I'll claim I'll cop to being dumb or ignorant. How do you know it's backwards? And not saying how do you know specifically, but like how can I tell if it's backwards? I'm sorry, I don't want to make that clear. So much. What do we do? That's Little Red.
You look like Little Red. Is that what she said?
Yeah, I because it's Kaylee says so much red. I guess because it's red hat, red shirt. And then Wade Farr says that's Little Red. So I guess I'm now being confused with Little Red, and that doesn't make me feel any better about my weight.
Do they look alike?
I better not get any closer. I don't want to freak people out.
Twins.
Nebraska says Mark only watches Greg and Minnie has a toy box. This show was epic tonight.
Yes, sweet.
Jamel Jackson says, what's up, sexy lady? Hey, how you doing, Jamel? It's great to have you back here. Obviously, you're talking about coolest guy in the room with two thumbs.
All right. That's you.
Trying to, make you feel less awkward and uncomfortable, Minnie.
Oh, sexy lady. That should make me feel awkward?
No, I don't know. You're very...
Does it make you feel awkward?
No, but I know. I just know you don't like a lot of attention. Trying not to.
That's true.
Is
anyone going to become a member tonight? Because, guys, we have such a great surprise. And the way you become a member, I think Wade Farr asked. Yeah. Okay, here. you have to be on a computer. You can't be on your phone. You have to be on a computer. And you just go click on become a member. And it's like a monthly fee of $2.99?
$2
$2.99, I think. But you get, now we're giving you guys some like members only content, as well as there's this surprise that we worked on, Greg and I. And I would love for him to play the surprise if only we could get a member tonight.
Fred says, do I need to cancel and rejoin so Minnie can have a moment?
You do. Go ahead. Cancel, rejoin.
You don't. We can always play it next week.
Yeah, we could. We'll play it whenever somebody becomes a member, but I was hoping that would happen tonight.
Let's see. Tony says, Dear Greg, you're fat and bald. Love Minnie.
He's balding. He's not bald yet. Difference.
That hurts my heart.
There's a difference. But other than that, yes.
Bruce Davis says, hi, Coronation Everett. And then look at this, Minnie. Your prayers have been answered.
Thank you.
Bruce Davis has become a member. What are we doing with our lives? Here we go. Here we go.
We just got a new YouTube member.
And speaking of members, do the very best for your member by hooking it up with Blue Chew. Go to bluechew.com.
We have to take care of our members. Okay.
Fred says, now I can go to bed.
That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce. There you go. We hope you appreciate that. Some of us redneck Cornhuskers don't either have a computer or don't have access to one. Well, you're on a smart device.
I don't think it does it on the smartphone. I don't know why.
Come on, Wade. Also, Wade, I don't know if I ever, first of all, you're shouting because you're typing in all caps. I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with this confrontational nature of you, Wade. Secondly, I never figured, thought you were a redneck. Interesting. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look at Wade through a whole new lens now. Not like that. Not one of those lenses. That's weird. Did I drop your comment, Highlander? I don't think I did. There's the member, Greg. Yeah. I don't. Sorry, Highlander. I'm so sorry. You deserve better.
I missed something.
Yeah, I don't know. Much apologies. Let's see. Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast, wants to know, because he understands that it's almost June and we're into our silly shit mindset, but he actually has good questions. And not to say that you others don't, but are we possibly looking past our first three games? I'm thinking Cincinnati might be tougher than we think. I'll say this. I'm not looking past Cincinnati. And I'll tell you why. Because first game of the season, Lord only knows what to expect. I'm pretty comfortable by Akron, and I'm really comfortable by Houston Christian. So Cincinnati, I think as we get closer, I'll feel more, or I'll either feel more comfortable about it, or I'll be drinking more Roulade. But right now, I understand your concerns, Mr. Matney. I still think it's massively going to be a home game for us in everything except on the scoreboard and with the officials being Big 12 crew. Outside of that, it's going to have a home game atmosphere for the Huskers. I like our chances. Just don't show up in surrender whites. That's about all I can say.
Ooh, what do you think we're going to wear?
Clothes, uniforms, pads, helmets.
You know what I saw the girls do?
Red pants, white jerseys.
Our softball team, instead of wearing, I love their uniforms, by the way.
Like the gray, like with the pinstripes?
They
Or,
were.
I mean, the red with the pinstripes, I guess.
I loved the red pinstripes, but they also wore, instead of white, they wore gray. Why don't we wear gray?
Or scarlet and cream, not scarlet and gray.
Well, I mean, they did it. I like the way their uniforms looked.
Oh, Wade wants to know, Minnie, what is Blue Chew?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Wade was asking you, and I guess if you don't know, we'll just move on.
What is it, Greg?
I'm so glad you asked. Blue Chew is it has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. It is designed to give men more confidence in the bedroom, and because it is a chewable, it works faster as the ingredients get to the bloodstream that much quicker. So you can be ready in as little as 15 minutes to take care of all the things you need to take care of that you would Blue Chew would require. But what's really nice about it is you go on to bluechew.com, and because it's all online, you talk to a doctor. You don't have to wait in a pharmacy awkwardly. Everything gets sent to you in a discreet package. But as we like to say here on the 5 Heart Podcast, there'll be nothing discreet about your package. Let's go to bluechew.com today and take care of your member, just like we take care of you.
There you go.
Back to business. Kaylee,
you've been dying to do that, haven't you?
No, I was fine. I'm ready. Kaylee says, I don't think Matt Rule is looking past anyone.
No, for sure not. She's right. As usual, Kaylee's right.
Let's see. Blue Chew was your first commercial on first. That's true. It was. And it was long overdue, Kaylee says. Oh, Kaylee, wait. Hold on. Shit. Kaylee's a new member. You know what that means?
We just got a new YouTube member.
And speaking of members, do the very best for your member by hooking it up with Blue Chew. Go to bluechew.com.
We have to take care of our members.
Husker Chuck says, I will remember that promo for a long time. And Rostowski says, why has it got to be awkward at the pharmacy? Well, all right, Aaron, I understand you are a
Poor Aaron. Oh.
But if you weren't a pharmacist and you needed a little more confidence in the bedroom, would you want to go stand in line and you know, the pharmacist be able to?
I mean, let's be honest. Nobody wants to buy any
enhancements.
Anything. Like even just buying, dare I say, condoms.
What?
Do you guys want to go and buy condoms?
What the hell's a condom?
I'm just saying, I don't know. It's just people don't want to have to go and talk to somebody to buy something.
Highlander Gun, by the way, says he's going to join next week. So,
hey.
What?
That he's going to join.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're working our way through. Bruce wants to know, one of our newest members, what are our thoughts on Nebraska in the baseball tournament, Minnie?
Why would you throw that to me, Greg? I honestly have no idea what to expect. Our baseball team has been up, they've been down. The pitcher that we had during the last 4 games, I forget his name, but I like that kid. I really like that kid.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, it's are you talking about Jackson Brockett?
No. It starts with a T.
Cool.
No?
Where's Rostowski? He would know these things.
He's here. You just have to give him a thing, he'll come right on and talk about it. You want to give him a link?
No.
Okay. No, Versowski. Okay.
Look, I'm trying to just find the regional schedule. I mean, we opened up against Oklahoma. I know that much. I don't know much at all about Oklahoma, but I don't know much about anything. Tyner Horn, he says. There you go.
That's him, Tyler Horn.
And he's in no shape to be on camera. I did read that, James. Oklahoma is not starting their ace. They are preserving their ace for what they believe is a second game. That is the type of offense that Minnie does not. She cannot abide. That is Sharon Moore choosing his self-imposed suspension over against Nebraska. It's not bringing your best against the Huskers, and Minnie will not tolerate that.
Is his name really Tyner? His name's not Tyner.
Yeah.
No, it is not.
Yeah.
Ty Horn?
Yeah,
is it really?
Yeah. Why you gotta be like that?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's his real name?
Ty, yeah.
Tyner?
I mean, like, it's all I can go by is what I'm told. I don't know anything else.
Okay. Okay. We'll go with that. No wonder he just goes by Ty.
I mean, I blame his mom. She went to Texas A&M. What the hell do they know?
Tyner. Are you guys playing with me? Is that really his name?
You asking me or you asking Rostowski? Huskers.com simply has his name as Ty Horn. But
okay.
Short for anything.
Okay. I thought his name was Tyler.
Sorry.
All right. So Ty Horn. I like
Stephen
him.
Fromm says Oregon found out when they didn't take Nebraska seriously. Now let Oklahoma find out.
Yeah. Good one, Stephen.
All right. So look, we made it to the college, or not college. We made it to the NCAA tournament. Let's put a run together like we had. I will admit, when I knew that Nebraska had to win, I think 4 in a row, I was concerned because, again, they have fallen off at times, but they put it together. I know they rallied in some of those games. I think one went to the 10th inning. So I'm not putting anything past this team. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it all. I wouldn't be surprised if they were out in the first 2 days.
Really? Either way. It could go either way.
It depends on what Nebraska team shows up.
Okay. What does AI say? That's the question. Because AI always tells us what's going to happen.
All right. Let me find out.
Don't necessarily go by the Vegas odds. Go by AI. Good night, Dondre. Thanks for being here.
ChatGPT has this to say when asked, what are the chances Nebraska baseball wins the national championship? Nebraska baseball enters the 2025 NCAA tournament as a significant underdog with betting odds of plus 25,000 to win the national championship, indicating a long shot status compared to top contenders like Arkansas, LSU, and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Despite these odds, the Cornhuskers have momentum on their side, having clinched the Big Ten tournament title with a 5-0 victory over UCLA in the championship game. This win secured their spot in the NCAA tournament, where they are placed in the Chapel Hill Regional alongside number 5 national seed North Carolina, Oklahoma, and Holy Cross. Nebraska's path to the College World Series is challenging. They face a tough regional with North Carolina holding a 77.8% implied chance to advance. However, the Cornhuskers have demonstrated resilience, finishing the season with a 32-27 record and a balanced 15-15 in Big Ten play. While their chances of winning the national championship are slim, Nebraska has the potential to surprise, especially if they can carry their recent tournament success into the NCAA postseason. Their journey begins in the Chapel Hill Regional, where they'll need to overcome formidable opponents to keep their championship hopes alive.
Okay. Tough row.
We beat the number one overall seed in the regular season, Mr. Rostowski says.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And Husker Chuck says Nebraska's 6-2 versus top 25 teams. So I feel like, I don't know, people asked us questions, but they already had the answers.
They know more than we do, obviously. But you know what, Greg? It'll be interesting. I don't know. Are you going to be watching?
If I can find it. Well, yeah, we'll see. Possibly. I don't know what time they play. I'll seek it out. Hopefully it's on my ESPN Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Which I had. So.
Yeah, I'll definitely tune in. Okay.
I do like this. Mr. Boardman reminds us that Nebraska winning the Big Ten knocked Texas A&M out of the tournament. So
did it really?
Husker Chuck says ESPN Plus, 4 o'clock Central.
Nice. Okay.
I don't have an Apple device, so there's nothing fun or cartoony when I do thumbs up. You'll have to. There we go. Fireworks. Hopefully there are a lot of fireworks in Chapel Hill for the Huskers.
Mm-hmm.
Tony says, how about some Badgers besmirching? And he pays us $2 to say that. So, Tony.
How about what's going on with them?
They suck.
What can we dig up?
They're going to be 2-10 this year. Luke Fickle's a fraud. Luke Fickle is the Scott Frost of Wisconsin. There, I said it.
He really is. Same scenario, Greg. You're not lying. Like, that is the truth.
Lie ever.
Well, I mean, sometimes you say things you don't know what you're talking about.
That's fair. That's actually very honest, and I appreciate that.
But this time you actually know.
It was a guess. I was just besmirching the Badgers because that's what I was asked to do.
I mean, I think
we'll come back to that, Wade. That's a good question.
He's definitely on a hot seat, so he better get some things done. Does anyone else here like besmirching the Badgers? Should this become a thing that we do?
Yeah. All right, we got to know. Maybe it's not just the Badgers. Maybe we take turns. Maybe we do besmirching the Big Ten. But we got to know, like, is this a regular bit that you want? So, because if it is, then Minnie's going to have to do production elements and
yes.
Artwork and things like that. So
get my toy chest out. I have beards and things.
Yeah. This isn't 5-part theater. This is just talking shit around the conference.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we need beards.
No, I mean, I've played Luke Fickle before.
James Boardman says Wisconsin's so dumb they thought a quarterback was a refund. So we can find some time to do it. I don't know. I'm not going to ask Minnie to get creative and do artwork now, but we can figure it out.
I love this. Is this what we're going to do?
I don't know.
Do we get any thumbs up? Any yays?
Pitt says a hate week practice for every upcoming opponent this season. Why not? Yeah. Hate
Absolutely.
week. We usually reserve hate week strictly for Iowa and when applicable Colorado, but I'm all right with doing hate week every week. So Houston Christian, we're coming for you fuckers.
What are you going to do to them?
I don't know. Probably talk about how they're in a lower level of football and therefore don't have the resources or the talent to be able to keep up with the mighty Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Yeah.
So,
that would be really high class there, Greg.
Iowa also stinks. You're right, Tony. So Husker Chuck says, now we have 2 questions for each show. What's Greg drinking today, and what's in Minnie's toy box? Yeah, no, Creighton doesn't have football. They don't have anything worthwhile. Highlander Gun says, what about smirching? Is that okay instead of besmirching? Fantastic, Highlander. Thank you. I appreciate the play on words there. I don't know what Houston Christian is. What about Sister Christian? Is that what you're talking about? Maybe? Or is that what I'm supposed to be? Am I supposed to create between now and September a parody about Houston Christian to the
that would be really good.
Night Rangers Sister Christian? Because I tell you, I'm not that creative.
Great. Do you know ChatGPT will put together a song for you? All you have to do is give them like ideas. No, there's a thing. You have to go to it. Like, I'll show you later.
Okay.
There's another option.
Okay. No, we're not going to do that, Pitt. Rostovsky says, also, Wisconsin for not having America's greatest sport. They have hockey.
What is America's greatest sport? Is it baseball?
Baseball.
Huh. I didn't know it was baseball.
Fred says, it is a Night Ranger. It's the Night Ranger song. He says, I'll write it for you and be better than ChatGPT.
I'm sure.
That might be a competition right there. Fred may put you up to that and see if that is successful. So, all right. Got a few more comments here. And then, not NHL hockey. We did talk about that. Thank you, Bruce. Fred wants to know, serious question this season, when does the rubber meet the road?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, what that actually means is when are we going to actually catch up to all the talk that we're doing, right?
Right.
Okay. When would you feel like we've caught up to all the talk, all the hype, Fred? Would it be...
Oh, I thought you were asking me.
Okay, Greg. When would you feel? Would it be if we're like 4-0?
I think 4-0. I think you start the season winning games you're expected to win, and then you defend the home turf against Michigan. I think that's a great start.
Mm-hmm.
Husker Chuck agrees. James says about 1 hour after Blue Chew. Thank you. Rostovsky says Penn State. You beat Penn State. The rubber has officially met the road.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine? I mean, Penn State could win it all if we beat them. Yeah, I agree. Good call.
Thank you. What else we got? You know, there's a secret topic that I didn't really even tell you about. I'm trying to figure out if an hour and 45 minutes into it is too late to get into it. Especially, look, it's almost 11 o'clock in the Central Time Zone where I think most of us are. Sorry, Minnie. I don't know if I want to get everybody pissed off before they go to bed. So I'll at least put a pin in it. But Pitt says YouTube membership comes with access to Greg's OnlyFans. That is probably a reason why my power got shut off last week. Nobody wants to see pictures of my feet, Minnie. What the hell?
I don't want to know.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Aaron Rostovsky says 5-0 is all the undefeateds you need, or something. No, stop it. That's not it at all. All right. Stephen Fromm says, I'll definitely be watching UCF football games just for pure amusement. You know what? At the end of the day, it wasn't the right fit. Nebraska and Scott Frost. Let him go be happy down in Orlando. And, I mean, he's in the Big 12. They don't have the two heaviest hitters in that conference anymore, obviously, with no Texas, no Oklahoma. So, I mean, it's fine. Like, let him go be happy. I don't want anybody to not be happy except for Iowa fans and Colorado fans and Texas fans. Shit, apparently that's a lot bigger of a list than I thought it'd be. But let him as an individual, if he feels like he's home, if he feels Orlando's home, more power to you.
It's very big of you, Greg.
It's what I do. I'm the bigger man sometimes.
Actually, I can appreciate that. Wish
Your
him all
thoughts on Scott Frost and UCF?
well, I'm secretly rooting for him to do well. I know.
I don't think it's a secret anymore. He just told it to
You
thousands
just
of people.
asked. I had to tell. I mean, it's. I don't want to go into the whole thing.
Okay,
Do
moving
you
on.
want me to? Do you want me to?
We got time.
Okay. I didn't really think that he was given a fair shake to begin with.
Okay.
I think the expectations for Scott Frost were so high. And when you have the undefeated season that he had, and, at UCF, though, you can't expect to win the same way at Nebraska. And the expectations were set so high. And then to have Trev come in, second, third year? I can't remember what year. And he said, you've got to run the team like this. You're a CEO now, right? And that his passion was like offense. And they brought in that offensive coordinator, Mark Whipple, who nobody could say boo to because he just was going to do everything his way, And I just feel like he wasn't necessarily given the best shot, especially towards the end. I know. A lot of people won't agree with me. I know that. You're not even talking to me, so.
No, I was listening. Yeah, again, just unrealistic expectations, I think. Having to adjust, again, how he was to run the program.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say all. I think a vast majority of us cheered when he was announced as the head coach.
Everybody did. Yeah.
Not everybody. I know people who were doubters from the beginning, and people who, with the benefit of hindsight, will say they were doubters.
What is this? My buddy Trinidad chiming in? Dude, what do you know about Nebraska football? My buddy. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. Nebraska says 5 seasons, and he didn't get a fair shot. I think when things started going south, they went south very quickly, and the fans turned on him very quickly.
Yes, they did.
So we'll see. Again, let him be happy down south, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So when we talk about the rubber meeting the road, Kaylee says, if we get 9 wins, would we care how it happened, or does who we beat matter more? She says, would 8 wins, and if some of those wins included Iowa, Michigan, and Penn State, be better than 9 wins and losses to Iowa, Michigan, and Penn State? So if we won 8 games and we beat the some of the surprise teams, would that be a better season than winning 9 games and losing the games that people would arguably say we're expected to lose? And she says, or maybe we just get to 10 wins and say screw that scenario, which I like that version better myself. But Minnie, let's go back to the original question. You get 8 wins. Among the 8, you beat Iowa, Penn State, and Michigan. you're going bowling. You've beaten, teams that were, I think Penn State's in the preseason top 5 or top 10 for sure. But you beat your rival in Iowa, and you beat Michigan, which I know you really want to win that game. Or you get one more win, but you've lost these games that arguably you were expected to lose.
No, the first option, please. Because
Okay.
the only thing I really care about, I know you guys probably won't agree with me, but the only thing I really care about is that we're a good football team. And if we can play with the best teams and even beat them, that means we're a good football team. That's all I care about. I don't want any more blowouts.
Yeah. No, that was the Bo Pelini problem. You win 9 games, but the losses were embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Husker Chuck says you're as good as your record says you are. Raji says that would, winning 8 games, including Iowa, Michigan, Penn State, says you have 4 losses to teams that we should have beat. And Raji says, I say anything less than 9 is a bust.
It's also a good point. It's a different way to look at it, because these are all teams that we should beat. There's only, really, Greg, we have gone over the schedule already, like probably half a dozen times. And we're probably going to I know, we're going to go over it a lot more. But there's only like 3-4 teams that are going to challenge us. Right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
We have such an easy schedule. We're all just like, okay, wait, is this really going to happen? Or are we talking it again? Are we going to walk the walk? Like, it's so hard to understand as a Nebraska fan, because we have been perplexed for years on what is going on. We're like, this is the year. This is it. No, this is the year.
Let's see. Husker Chuck says beat the Chumps plus Minnesota and Iowa. We're 9-3. Tony, our Minnesota friend, says Nebraska was 3-6 in the Big Ten last year. 5-4 in the conference would be great improvement. And Fred says we have such an easy schedule. End quote. Let's revisit this in November, Minnie. And Rostovsky says an Akron night game can fuck everything up, though, from what I've heard. You missed that part of the conversation, I think, Aaron. So, all right. Let's see. Did we leave the fans, the Holger Maniacs, on a cliffhanger last week that I forgot about because I have a horrible memory?
That was the cliffhanger. Was the members?
Oh, okay. There you go, Justin. I'm sorry. I thought it was more. Or for your sake, maybe you hoped it was more. My apologies.
Sorry. That's all we got.
And Raji says, oh, sorry. Didn't mean to use the word should. It's a callback to Monday night. If you want to know more about that, you're going to have to go check out Monday Night Therapy with Minnie Hunt, exclusively on Coordination's social channels, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Vince says, I'm setting my expectations at 7-5 and will be happy with that. Elated with better. So Wade asked this question here a little bit back, and I said, I'm going to start that and save it for the end of the show, which means we'll do 5-part theater next week with your permission, boss.
Yes.
Okay. Wade says, hey, I have a big question for you two. I know you two are big Husker fans, so why don't you all live in Big Red Country? Minnie, I'll let you go first.
Why don't I live in Big Red Country?
Yep.
It's a great question. Greg, I'll let you go first.
I already asked you.
I should live there.
There you go.
I love everything about Nebraska. except for tornadoes scare me
The cold.
a lot. I mean, I can handle cold. I just like sun better.
My story is a little longer. I lived in Nebraska for a little over 3 years back in my early 20s when I was in radio, terrestrial radio. And then I got a job in Southeast Missouri. Then from there, after I got fired from that job, eventually I got picked up by a radio station in South Central Illinois. As things happened, got married and switched jobs, got out of radio. So I kind of stopped bouncing around. That offered a bit more stability. Had some kids, moved from that town to a different town. And now I live here. And I'll as long as my kids are young or, through school, elementary and junior high and high school, I'll be here and realistically probably be here in Illinois until I die.
Greg is an old man, if you haven't noticed.
My back does hurt.
He has old man tendencies. I'll be here till the day I die.
I'm going to die here. It's oddly, I used to say this about the barbecue place when I lived across town, that I said, if I wasn't so fat and lazy, I was within walking distance of award-winning barbecue. Now I can say, if I wasn't so fat and lazy, I was in walking distance of the hospital where I was born. So oddly enough, my life has taken me kind of full circle. I'm just down the road from the hospital. Hell, I may die in one day. I don't know. Hopefully that
brings you some sort of comfort.
Like I said, hopefully that's several years.
I have no idea why, but that's great for you. I'm not any better. Not like I've lived anywhere other than Arizona, so it's. But I do like what somebody else said here. Never mind me says, Minnie, we rarely get tornadoes. Rarely.
I think in Minnie's mind, one tornado is too many.
I mean, just the fact that you have any. No, thank you.
Husker Chuck says, I could walk to the hospital I was born in. It would take 75 hours to get there. I could walk to the hospital I was born in and be there within a half hour, walking at my speed.
I don't know why is that a good thing?
I didn't say it was good. I just said, I'm surprised.
That means you don't like change. What is wrong with change?
I used to like change.
What?
Again, as a 21-year-old with no, I don't say angers, but nothing to tie me down or I went from Southern Illinois to Northwest Nebraska with nothing but, I don't know, just ambition and then
a hope and a dream.
A hope and a dream, and about that much in my wallet. A hope and a dream. And so then life happens, and yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah. I love Nebraska though. Nebraska's great.
Yes.
Especially there's no better place to watch a game, to go to a college town and watch a game. Honestly, it's like on steroids. I love it. And right down the street, is Tempe, which is where I used to go out all the time when I was in college, and it was a lot of fun. But honestly, it's shameful compared to Lincoln. Shameful. Lincoln is so much fun. It's like a slice of American pie. I love it.
I can see that. There is something, and I think it's not just Lincoln, but Nebraska writ large. There's something that's truly like vintage Americana. There's the frontier. There's the pioneer spirit. And look, this is appreciative from somebody who's not a native Nebraskan, but you had to be a tough sumbitch to go settle in the plains.
It's true.
160, 170, whatever years ago. like it wasn't easy living. I've been fortunate in my time in Nebraska to go through some of the museums and, just see what, learn a little bit about what living was like back then. I think sometime this off season, I don't know how well it'll work. I'd love to have like a Nebraska historian on the show. That would be fun. Like, tell us about Nebraska in 1890s. What did that landscape look like? So,
Really?
I love history, Minnie.
Well, you know who does history?
Who does history?
John Johnston.
John Johnston, tell me more. Tell the good Holger Maniacs more.
That's all I know, is that he has just gone in, like all in to the hardcore football.
That's right. He has his own hardcore football history channel on YouTube, and you can access a lot of that through the Coronation YouTube channel as well. So Fred's not wrong. John could tell you about the 1890s, remembers it like it was yesteryear.
He does.
Dysentery was awesome. Apparently, I hear it's coming back. And if you're ever in Beatrice, Nebraska, the Homestead National Monument, Kaylee says that'll give you everything you want to know about how Nebraska was settled.
Oh, nice. So, where?
Beatrice, Nebraska.
Beatrice. Okay.
At the Homestead National Monument, which, by the way, I found out the hard way that it's Beatrice and not Beatrice, which is as an Illinoisan. That's how I pronounced it on the radio on a funeral announcement. And then we got phone calls. We're like, tell him it's Beatrice.
Yeah. Can't do that, Greg.
Well, I don't know about you, Minnie. I think we've exhausted all of our topics of conversation for the evening.
Yep.
And
I agree. We will leave you with this, though. I have something in my hair.
I don't think that's what.
Next week, a little 5 Heart Theater coming your way.
Or we'll have time to collaborate on it equally and both contribute equal parts to this.
Really?
Masterpiece.
You're going to pull your weight?
I'm going to try. It's a lot more. It's significantly more weight than you, Minnie. So I'll do my best. So
okay.
And Justin says, stay away from Beatrice if you're emo. Are you emo, Justin?
He might be. It's okay. We don't judge. We do not judge.
I mean, I judge a little if you're emo. I feel like they're a lot better.
Come on, Greg. You were emo once.
I don't think I was ever emo.
I've seen pictures. Okay.
No, there was Halloween. Well, never mind. All right. That'll do it for this episode of the 5 Heart Podcast. Braska Rascal wants to know if your mom will be the special guest on 5 Heart Theater.
I'll ask her.
Lavonda. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Martindale.
Yeah. Yep.
Distantly related to Wink. This is, I know too much. I know just enough to not be dangerous. All right. That's it for this episode of the 5 Heart Podcast. We thank all of you for giving up your time and giving so much of yourselves, your own creativity and generosity of comments and memberships and super chats.
And don't forget about tomorrow night. We're going to be putting out tomorrow, our new members video.
Yes. Member exclusive. So all of you new members tonight will hopefully appreciate it. And that'll be all for that. So for my wonderful, I can't call her co-host. I'm not allowed to anymore. I almost said assistant, and that would have just got me shot. For Minnie, I'm Greg Mahashko. This is the 5 Heart Podcast. We remind you each and every week that 5 Heart is all the heart you need. Minnie?
And go Big Red.